On today's video, we are going to be taking previously thrifted items that were in my garage and we are going to be making them over into gorgeous fall decor. I think you are absolutely going to love this video. We have 4 fall inspired projects along with 1 sneak peek of Christmas. Y'all voted, I listened, y'all we're all about the fall. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Emily. I'm with J. Bowen & Company. I am so glad that you are here today. Y'all, all these products that you're seeing right there are things that we are going to be making over in today's video. The first project is going to be a very easy project. I am going to show you how to paint a pumpkin. Freehand, freestyle. Y'all always love when I paint, so let's go ahead and get started. I had previously primed with the gray primer from Rethunk Junk, a canvas that I purchased for 75 cents. I then took out some DIY paint in the color Faded Burlap. I gave it 2 coats of that paint. I let it dry completely, and now I am using some Alchemy paint by Fusion Mineral Paint. That is their newest paint line. It has 3 key ingredients: acrylic, limestone, and chalk. This is the color Terracotta. It is a beautiful color for fall. I'm also going to be using the color White Oak and some of the clay. That's the furthest color there on the left. We are just making a pumpkin. You can make the shape tall and skinny, short and fat. You cannot screw up a pumpkin because pumpkins come in all shapes and sizes. You know, usually pumpkins have certain sections, so we're going to be making about 5 sections in this pumpkin. Those little bumps at the top, that's going to be the opposite side of the pumpkin. So this is going to be a 3D pumpkin. This is in the color clay. We're making a little stem. You can't screw up the stem because they're all irregular. Now we're just going to use this color clay. We've already used color clay. Now this is the color White Oak, and we're just giving a little bit of highlights, and this is when you're going to start seeing the different sections come alive. I'm now working on the center section, and then there's 2 sections on either side of the other section, and we're just giving some highlights. And then those little back bumps, that's the other side of the pumpkin. So I'm just using the same paintbrush, and like I said, you can't screw this up. We're going to come back over this pumpkin in black and here in a second to further define what the pumpkin looks like. This pumpkin's going to end up looking a little bit more graphic-y than right now. It's kind of blended and smooth. You could stop here in a second at this point if you wanted to, but I wanted to use some black to go ahead and just define it a little bit more. But you see how easy this is. It's a very easy project. You can do this with any color of your choice. If you don't like these colors, you could use a really pretty light green, or you could use, brighter orange, whatever you want to, but it's a very easy project. And I hope you see how easy it is. Even if you say you cannot paint, I hear a lot of you guys saying you cannot paint, just copy these steps and you can make your own. So if you decide to get a canvas at the thrift store, just watch my video whenever you're making your pumpkin and just follow along, and I guarantee you that you will be able to make a pumpkin too. And if you decide to paint a pumpkin, I would love for you to share it in our free creative group. There's going to be a link for that. I'm now hitting it with a hairdryer, and I actually got some really good crackles, surprisingly. Now coming back with some, this is the color Ash from Fusion Mineral Paint, and just a little skinny artist brush. It's funny, I always hear you guys say artist brush. I never heard anyone say that before until I watched these YouTube channels, and I've been painting my whole entire life. But let's just go ahead and call it an artist brush because that's what I hear you guys saying. But this is just more like a little skinny brush versus a big fat furniture brush, I guess. But we're just going to come along and we're just we're making this look kind of graphic. We're just going all around, and now is when you're just kind of defining it. We're going to make some little squiggly marks, and then we're just kind of giving it some shadows and some depth, and then we're just going to take it and pluck it, or I don't know what you call it, and give it some little bit extra detail around the edges, just some splatter paint. If you enjoyed this painting tutorial, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials and thrift flips. We are going to be making some fun fall art with these different frames that I purchased. I like to purchase frames even without glass because you can do some really fun projects with them. So I had previously taken an Amazon Prime box and I had cut them to size to these frames, and we are going to be making them over. Sometimes you might want to use very smooth cardboard, but right now I'm using some that have a little bumps and they have a few little bends, but it's not going to matter for this project because this project is going to have a little bit of texture. This video is all about texture. The next several projects here, I'm using the color Crinoline from DIY Paint. It's a really pretty creamy off-white color, and we went ahead and let it dry. And now this is a book that I thrifted for probably next to nothing. Y'all, I looked to see what the actual value was. Looks like they sell somewhere between $7 and $10 on eBay, or at least that's what they're listed for. It's a thesaurus, and I know I'll catch some heck from a few of you guys, but look, these books are a dime a dozen. I wouldn't recommend using an antique book, but this is just, you know, a thesaurus. I'm sure no one uses them anymore. You can just Google that kind of information now. But these are really big pages, and I thought this would be really good for this particular project. You can use old book pages or hymnals for this, but I'm just going to take some liquid patina. You can use any decoupage medium that you have, and then I'm just going to cut them to size and then decoupage them directly on to this cardboard, and then I'm just going to put a layer of the liquid patina on top. While those are waiting, I am going to show you a new product that I've never shown you before. I take that back. In a live, I did show you this product, but this is called Stain Finishing Oil. It is a really cool product. You can use it on furniture. I used half a can of this to cover the back of a huge bookcase, 6 foot tall by 4 foot wide, and half of a can covered the whole back side. All you do is you're just going to paint it on, and then you're going to wipe it off. That's all you do. Actually, I have shown it to you in another. I did a bowl with this before too, but not this color. This is called Cappuccino. So basically, you're just going to paint it on, and you're going to wipe it off. It already has a finish on it, so you do not have to seal it or anything, but it gives you a beautiful color. But you can do this on tabletops or any kind of furniture or any crafty project as well. But y'all, look how easy it is, and look at that beautiful color. This comes in multiple different colors. I've got it in this cappuccino color, white, taupe, natural, black, and then there's some other shades of brown. I know one's called Heartwood, something like that. I can't remember. I was putting them in my new booth yesterday, and so I was reading all of the different colors. But you see how easy this is and how much of an improvement it makes on this frame. I thought I would pull out the antiquing glaze as well from Fusion Mineral Paint just to see what it looks like. This is the product that you can use if you want to make a really cool Pottery Barn finish, meaning you can paint your project. Let's say you could paint it in an off-white or a yellow color, and then you take this antique glaze and you paint it on the top of that, and then you take a brush and you pull it back, and it will give it a wood grain look. On this particular project, I'm just going to wipe it back and kind of use this product as a stain. We are going to be using the new stamp from the new IOD release. This is called the Autumn's Blessing stamp. This is the fall stamp in the new release. It's a gorgeous stamp. If you haven't picked it up yet, you should consider picking it up. There are so many projects that you can make with this, and I am going to be using the black ink, and we're going to be stamping these pumpkins on each one of these different pages. I wanted to take a minute and tell you thank you so much. I truly appreciate all of the purchases that you made from the new IOD release last week and continuing today and yesterday, this whole weekend. It's like Christmas for me as well. I really, truly appreciate from the bottom of my heart that you decide to purchase from me, and I was going to let you know if you're still would like to purchase more of these items or you haven't purchased any of them yet, you can head to the description and you can purchase any of the products, the paints or the IOD products that you see in this video directly from me, and I will get them sent out to you. I decided to use my thin mount. That's the big piece of plastic there with the grid. It really helps you when you're stamping. But y'all, look at that really gorgeous stamp right there of these pumpkins. pumpkins. I'm going to go ahead and leave them just neutral black and white, but you could paint them in and stamp over them if you want to, but I'm just kind of doing a neutral video here for the most part. And so that's what we are going to do. So we're just going to stamp them, and I think these are going to turn out really great, and they look really cool, and I think that a lot of people would enjoy these in their decor. I'm going to sell each one of these little things probably somewhere, the bigger ones probably $16.99 to $18.99 in my booth, and I know they will sell for that amount because I sell these kind of things all the time in my booth. Now the smaller one, the little pumpkin, that might be a little bit less because the frame is just a little bit smaller and the image is a little bit smaller. But this stamp has gorgeous pumpkins, it's got wheat, it's got a little turkey, all kinds of fun designs. There's also 4 other amazing, gorgeous stamps, Christmas stamps, and you will absolutely love them. Last week I made over some Christmas bags, some gift bags, and those seem to be a really big hit. But there are so many projects that you can make with these stamps. So if you want any of these stamps, you can head over there and pick those up. I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy project, and y'all let me know in the comments which one of these projects is your favorite. A while back, I purchased a number of these wood blank signs. They had some writing on them. I already took the writing off. It was like something with a cricket. And then I picked up all of these doilies, these paper doilies. I usually pick them up whenever I see them at thrift stores. I got this whole bunch of them for, I believe it was only 50 cents. You can find these, or at least I find them all the time at the thrift store. Regular ones, the cloth ones, whatever they're made out of, yarn or thread. And then I also find these as well. So I went ahead and picked up this whole package for 50 cents. They were kind of from different packages, and we're just going to decoupage them onto this board. I'm using some liquid patina from DIY Paint, and I'm just going to cover it pretty thick with some of the liquid patina. Then we are just going to press down the doilies into the liquid patina, and then we are going to, one at a time, cover them with the decoupage medium. These doilies were 3 different colors, so I decided to leave them just the colors they were as is. But if you wanted to change them up, you could always paint your paper doilies whatever color you choose to paint them. So here I am. I'm just going to press it into the decoupage, and then I'm going to put the medium back on top of this doily. I have never done this before, so it was just a brand new experiment to see if it would work. Y'all, I just wanted to touch on a little bit on the new IOD release in case you've missed it. There are 5 brand new transfers. There are, let's see here, 2 new paint inlays. There are 5 new molds, and there is one of the gilded. It's gold and silver. It's beautiful as well. So there are 18 brand new products. Y'all, I get products and projects mixed up all the time, and I'm sorry about that. That's just how I am. So anyway, you can pick up any of those. I will have a link to every one of them in my description. If you haven't checked out my latest video where I go over the brand new release, you can check that out. Cannot wait to use all of the new products. Okay, so what we're doing now is I'm taking some of this brown trimming or whatever you call it. It was kind of like part of a tassel thing. I bought it at the thrift store. I have bags and bags of this kind of stuff. I always pick it up, and I just happen to have it right there in that basket. That I showed y'all earlier. I actually went into my garage to find this glass bottle. You're going to see that project here in a minute. And in that basket were all of these things that I could use for this project. I am trying to work through my stash in my garage and use them for all of these projects and not do any thrifting because I really have so many projects I can make. I don't need to thrift at all. I'm just using some Titebond Quick and Thick to glue this down, and I just kind of frayed the ends of these on the top and the bottom, and I'm just kind of placing them just randomly. You know, like I said on that pumpkin painting, you're not going to be able to mess this up. You cannot mess it up. You can just stems are crazy. They look crazy. Just put it whatever way you choose to, and it'll just make it look really good and organic. If there's any extra glue, just wipe it away with a little wet wipe or a wet paper towel because you don't want to see glue on your project. Here is the final reveal. Do y'all think I should add a little bit of aging wax to these doilies, or do you like them just how they are. Y'all let me know in the comments. The next project is this glass jar that I had previously had in my booth. It never sold, so I brought it home. I gave it a good clean, and then I decided to pull out this Clementine transfer set. This is a gorgeous transfer set. It is full of 8 pages of beautiful floral and fruit images that are perfect for the fall and into the winter time. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this beautiful image. I think it's a pomegranate. It's really pretty. It has a little bit of writing and some florals, and we're going to transfer it directly onto the bottle. These transfers are very easy to use. You're just going to pull off that white backing, stick it directly to your project. You do need to be careful on a rounded surface. I think I should have started at one edge and gone to the next because it kind of did a little bit weird. If it's your first time, I'd recommend using a flat surface to begin with, but you're going to use that little plastic tool that's in every one of your transfer sets. You're just going to rub on it and pull up the plastic, and if it transfers, great. If it hasn't quite transferred, just lay it back down, hit it with that stick again, and it will transfer directly. On things like this on glass, you could put a wax and then wipe it all off. If you're going to sell it, I'd probably recommend doing that. If you're not going to sell this piece and it's for your own use, you don't have to seal it. Just know that you can't wash it. You'll just have to just wipe it away or dust it with, very lightly so it doesn't come off. You can see what a difference this transfer makes on this bottle. It really just enhances it and makes it look really pretty. With clean hands, you need to rub over the entire surface to make sure that the transfer burnishes it into the piece. What a transformation one simple transfer made to this jar. Here are the new items in the release that I haven't shown you already. I'm going to do a little sneak peek using the Holly and Pine stamp. I love this stamp. I think this is one of my favorite stamps, but y'all, I cannot pick a favorite on the stamps. I love all of the stamps. I'm going to take out this Christmas tree, and I'm just going to hit it with some of the black ink, and we're just going to go ahead and stamp one of these pages with the black ink, and then we're going to stamp the next page with some of the green ink. We're going to hit it with the green grass ink and then a little bit of the black ink, and once again with the green ink to just kind of give it a dark green, forest green look. I wanted to go ahead and knock off that extra ink so it didn't get on my page. But we're just going to go ahead and stamp this. Y'all, there are so many projects you can make with these stamps. I just wanted you to see how pretty this stamp actually was. You can make banners, signs, art. You could put these stamps on anything and you can use them again and again. I hope you guys enjoyed these different projects today. On the screen, there will be more thrift flips to choose from. And I'll talk to you in the comments.